Norway, Kingdom of Norway or
Norge.
Norwegian, is a country in northern Europe, belonging to Scandinavian countries, situated above the Arctic Circle and borders the North Atlantic Ocean and the North Sea. Norway borders 3 countries, Finland, Sweden, and Russia. The longest border is shared with Sweden. Norway is the westernmost country of the Scandinavian countries. It has an area of 323,802 square kilometers. It has a population of 5.4 million people. Oslo, with a population of 1 million inhabitants, is its capital. Norwegian is the language. Government type, constitutional monarchy. Norwegians are mainly Christians, more than 70% being Evangelical Lutheran. Life expectancy, 79 years. Norwegian krone, NOK, is the currency. National symbols, moose, animal, heather, flower, and the coat of arms. National colors, red, white and blue. National anthem.
Ja, vi elsker dette landet.
Yes, we love this country. National Day, 17 May, Constitution Day. Norway was originally called
Norveg,
meaning the Northern Way. History: Vikings settled in the region in 994 and gained independence from Sweden in 1905. In referenda held in 1972 and 1994, Norway rejected joining the EU. Norway is slightly larger than the state of New Mexico in the USA and slightly smaller than Vietnam or Italy. A flight to Oslo takes about 2 hours from London, UK, and 6 hours from New York, USA. Norway's highest mountain is called
Galdhoppigen
and is 2,469 meters, 8,100 feet high. The largest lake in Norway is Lake
Mjøsa.
Norway has about 50,000 islands off the rugged coastline. Norway has one of the longest coastlines in the world. The majority of the Norwegians, 83%, live in urban areas. The interior is only sparsely populated. Most Norwegians live in the south of the country, where the climate is milder than in the north. Oslo, the capital city, is the only city in the country with more than 1 million people. Oslo is the 3rd biggest city in Scandinavia, after Stockholm, Sweden and Copenhagen, Denmark. The biggest
Fjord
in Norway is
Sognefjord.
This
Fjord
is often referred to as the King of Fjords. The world's 6th tallest and Europe's highest waterfalls,
Winufossen,
which is 860 meters in height, is located in Norway. It
Jostedalsbreen,
is the largest glacier on the European mainland. The glacier and the mountains surrounding it became a national park in 1991. The country also has the largest glacier in mainland Europe
Jostedalsbreen,
at 487 square kilometers.
Hornindalsvatnet,
It in central Norway is Norway's and Europe's deepest lake, 514 meters. Its surface is 53 meters above sea level, and its bottom is 461 meters below sea level. The longest road tunnel in the world is
Lærdal
Tunnel. It is 24.5 kilometers long, and it takes on an average 20 minutes to pass through the tunnel. It succeeds the Swiss Gotthard Road Tunnel, which is 16.9 kilometers in length.
Eiksund,
It is the deepest undersea tunnel in Norway. It is a 76 meters long subsea tunnel on the northwest coast of Norway. Lofoten Islands. Visit the
Trollfjord,
and join nature safaris or see the northern lights. Lillehammer. Go skiing or snowboarding in one of the oldest ski resorts in Norway.
Geiranger Fjord,
One of the most spectacular
Fjord.
in Norway is
Geiranger Fjord,
this
Fjord,
is surrounded by snow-capped mountains and many waterfalls and is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Oslo. The Viking Ship Museum exhibits 2 of the best preserved Viking ships from the 9th century. There are many attractions in Oslo, such as the huge red citadel building, the opera house where you can walk up the roof, or the
Akershus,
fortress. And don't miss the royal palace. Norway has a king and a queen. They are very popular with the Norwegian population. King Harald V and Queen Sonja have a son,
Crown Prince Haakon,
who is married to
Crown Princess Mette-Marit,
and a daughter.
Märtha Louise.
The royal palace is in Oslo, and this is the main residence of the royal family. The biggest cities in Norway are Oslo.
Bergen, Stavanger, Trondheim.
Norwegians celebrate the Midsummerfest on 24 June, St. John's Day, with a bonfire. There is daylight almost 24 hours during this time in northern Norway. In the south it is only dark for about 8 hours. Norwegians enjoy a 4-week holiday during the summers, thus, they have plenty of time to hunt fish and have rest. Since 2008, same-sex marriage is allowed in Norway. Norway has won more Winter Olympics than any other country in the world. Football is the favorite sport in the country.
Allemannsretten
Is a term which says that every man and woman in Norway has the right of public access. Since 1947, Norway is sending the Trafalgar Christmas tree to the UK. Røros is the coldest place in Norway with a -50 Celsius temperatures. Norway is also one of the few countries in the world to have established the Ministry of Environment. Displaying advertisement to children 12 years old or younger is illegal in the country. The cheese slicer was also invented in Norway in 1925 by
Tor Bjørklund.
Irritated with the problems of cutting nice slices of the cheese with a regular knife, he invented the slicer. The aerosol spray can was invented by a Norwegian, Erik Rotheim, in 1920. He was from Oslo. Sander Norheim, 10 June 1825 – 9 March 1897, is a famous ski designer from Norway. And Sander Norheim is known as the father of telemark skiing. Erik the Red, 1000 BCE, explorer.
Edvard Grieg.
1843–1907, composer and pianist.
Edvard Munch.
1863–1944, artist and painter, is most known for his painting The Scream.
Henrik Ibsen.
1828–1906, author and playwright.
Liv Ullmann.
Born 1938, actress.
Roald Dahl.
1916–1990, poet, author and screenwriter, most famous for his children's books such as James and the Giant Peach, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, or Matilda. The people in Norway speak Norwegian, which is a Germanic language. The language is very similar to the Swedish and Danish languages. Almost all Norwegians can speak English, which is taught in schools as a second language. The Norwegian alphabet is the same as the Danish alphabet, and thus also has 29 letters. In the northern parts of Norway, some indigenous people also speak the Sami language. The Sami people, or Laplanders, also called Laps, live in the northern parts of Norway and bordering Sweden as well as Finland. They are the indigenous people of the Arctic Circle. Oil and gas were discovered off the Norwegian coastline in the 1960s and are among the country's main natural resources. Norway is one of the largest seafood producers in the world and the second largest nation exporting seafood after China. Most of the country's electricity is produced by hydropower plants. The biggest trading partners of Norway are Germany, the UK, the Netherlands, Sweden and China. In Norway, you will find reindeers. These animals are also called caribou. These animals, which only live in the northern hemisphere above the Arctic Circle, travel far to get food. They have antlers which they use for scraping the snow away from the ground to find food. The animals have 4 toes. It is interesting to know that reindeer are the only mammals that can see ultraviolet light. Arctic foxes also live in Norway. Their coat changes with the seasons. In winter the fur is mainly gray and white, while in summer it changes to a light brown. That the Nobel Peace Prize is awarded in Oslo annually since 1901? The Nobel Peace Prize is awarded for outstanding work in making or keeping peace. The Norwegian King Harald V is also present at the awards ceremony in Oslo. The Nobel Prize awards are given to excellent scientists in these science disciplines: physics, chemistry, physiology or medicine and literature. The prizes are presented either in Stockholm, Sweden. Only the Nobel Peace Prize is handed over in Oslo. By the way, Alfred Nobel was Swedish, that is why the other Nobel Prizes are awarded at ceremonies in Stockholm. Satisfying is Norway's national dish, which usually consists of diced mutton, meatballs, made with beef, lamb or mutton, carrots, and potatoes served in a clear, fragrant broth. The vegetables are usually cooked separately and are then added to the broth. The soup has been a staple in Norwegian cuisine since the 13th century, and today it is mainly associated with the Trøndelag region. It is usually served on special and festive occasions, and it is traditionally paired with Norwegian flatbread on the side. The national dish of Norway is hearty mutton and cabbage stew, typically served with boiled potatoes. The list of ingredients is scarce. Only mutton, cabbage, salt, pepper, and water, although some recipes call for the broth to be thickened with flour. Traditionally, this stew was a seasonal autumn dish, but today it is eaten throughout the year. Even though it is popular in many Scandinavian countries,
Surkål.
it is traditionally associated with Norway. Characterized by the unusual combination of sweet and sour flavors, this simple dish consists of finely sliced green or red cabbage, stewed in vinegar, sugar, and various spices, with the occasional addition of sliced apples and caraway seeds. In many Scandinavian households, it is one of the essential side dishes served during the festive Christmas period.
Skillingsboller.
Is a traditional Norwegian version of a cinnamon roll. This circular pastry is usually associated with Bergen. The rolls are made with a combination of flour, milk, yeast, eggs, sugar, cardamom, lots of butter, and chopped almonds, optional. After the baking,
Skillingsboller.
are brushed with additional butter on the top and the bottom while they are still hot. The top is also sprinkled with extra sugar and cinnamon. The name
Skillingsboller.
means penny bun. They're usually eaten as an afternoon snack with a cup of coffee on the side, but some people like to eat them with brown cheese, brunost.
Lapskaus.
Is a traditional stew originating from Norway. The stew is usually made with a combination of beef, lamb, pork, and chicken are also viable options. Onions, potatoes, carrots, celery, rutabaga, stock, flour, optional, bay leaves, thyme, salt, and pepper. The beef is cooked in water with the vegetables, herbs, and seasonings. As the stew cooks, the broth becomes thicker, and once it develops the right consistency, it's served warm with a few slices of bread or lefse flatbread on the side. If desired, the broth can be thickened with a bit of flour.
Fiskesuppe.
Is a popular Norwegian fish soup characterized by its creamy texture and buttery flavor. This comforting dish appears in many regional and seasonal versions, but it usually consists of various types of fish, shellfish, and root vegetables, cooked in a rich broth with butter, milk, and cream. Even though it is native to Norwegian coastal areas, this hearty chowder-like soup is considered to be a national specialty which is prepared and consumed throughout the country. Before serving, it is seasoned with a variety of fresh herbs and a drizzle of tangy lemon juice.
Pinnekjøtt.
Is a traditional Norwegian Christmas dish predominantly enjoyed in the northern and western parts of the country. It is usually prepared with racks of lamb or mutton, which are brined and air-dried or smoked before they are sliced into individual ribs and cooked. Traditionally, the ribs are placed on birch branches and steamed until all the water evaporates and the meat becomes juicy and tender. This flavorful Norwegian classic stems from the traditional methods of meat preservation and is usually complemented with mashed or boiled potatoes, pureed Swedish turnip, and various salads.
Kjøttboller.
Traditional Norwegian meatballs. Even though they share many similarities to their Swedish counterpart, they are usually larger in size and more often shaped as meat patties or meat cakes. Among the numerous varieties, traditional versions mainly employ minced beef that is generously seasoned with nutmeg and ginger and occasionally combined with eggs, onions, oats, and cornstarch. Norwegians prefer to pan-fry the meatballs and enjoy them as a main course, accompanied by a creamy sauce or a thick gravy.
Lefse.
Is a traditional Norwegian flatbread, visually looking like a huge round tortilla. It comes in many varieties such as plain, sweet, thin, or thick. There is also a popular version of lefse with potatoes incorporated in the dough, and it is a favorite of the Telemark region. Originally, potatoes were not included in the flatbread since potatoes were introduced to Norway just about 250 years ago. Today,
Lefse.
is usually dipped into a bowl of water to absorb it and is then consumed with butter, cinnamon, and sugar. For serving, it is recommended to roll the flatbread and cut it at an angle, resulting in the fish having a gelatinous consistency and often, depending on the type of whitefish, a very strong, pungent odor. Both the Swedes and the Norwegians claim the dish as their own, but
lutefisk
is also prepared in Finland and in the United States, namely in the state of Minnesota, where it's predominantly consumed by Scandinavian immigrants. After it's been cooked, the light-treated fish is served with an array of side dishes. In Norway, it is typically served with boiled potatoes, mashed green peas, melted butter, and pieces of fried bacon, whereas a side of white sauce in combination with previously mentioned boiled potatoes and green peas is the traditional choice of Swedes and Finns. The country is also famous for its Grandiosa frozen pizza. It is the most sold pizza brand in Norway. According to some estimate, 24 million units of Grandiosa are produced each year in Norway. The country has strict regulations on alcohol. They do not sell alcohol everywhere, but have designated shops that sell the liquor. Wine in the country is only sold through some special shops. Norwegians eat a lot of tacos. Coffee plays a significant role in the Norwegian culture. Coffee and cakes are liked by a majority of the people. After Finland, Norwegians drink more coffee per person than any other country. The consequence of drunken driving is a jail term of 30 days. The country has one of the lowest crime rates in the world, and it was voted as the best country to live in by the UN. Internet access is made available to prisoners in their cells. A high-security prison in Norway has flat-screen TVs. Whenever a book is published in Norway, the government buys 1,000 copies of it, and it distributes it to the libraries in the country so that people may have access to it without having to pay. There is a town called Hell in Norway. In 2008, Norway donated $1 billion to help save the Amazon rainforest. Easter and Christmas are among the major holidays in the country.